Hi, my name's Janelle and I'm attempting to make the perfect pair of jeans. This video is kindly brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to create a beautiful online presence. This is part 2 of attempting to tackle my personal sewing Everest, aka sewing the perfect pair of jeans. I'll have a link to the first part of this series down in the description below, and in that video I talk about the inspiration behind these jeans, how I want them to fit, the pattern I'm using, as well as a pretty substantial disaster that happened very early on in this sewing project, and I left you with a bit of a cliffhanger on whether or not these jeans are actually going to fit. So yeah, without further ado, grab yourself a cup of tea and let's jump into day 2 of attempting to sew my perfect pair of jeans. Okay, day 2 of sewing my perfect pair of denim jeans. I am so excited to get back into it today. I feel like if it hadn't had gotten so dark and if I was still able to see last night, I would have just kept going. I am thoroughly enjoying the process of making these jeans so much. So like I said last night, I've got the back and the front, and now we're up to stitching them together, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're going to start stitching them together, so I'm pretty close to being able to try them on for the first time. I feel like they are going to be quite a tight fit, but they should stretch over time with wear, so I'm not too concerned about that. There's a pin in here too. So yeah, let's just jump straight back into it and get sewing and stitch these jeans up so I can actually try them on. But yeah, how cute are these jeans looking? I am so excited to see how these turn out, and I'm just so anxious to try them on. Let's get back into it. Okay, the waistband isn't in yet, but I couldn't resist. I just had to try them on, see how they're fitting, and look how perfectly they fit. They are so comfortable and they cinch in all the right places. It's still like ever so slightly loose in the waist, but once the waistband's in, I think it's going to be perfect. It's perfect in the hips, which is the part I was worried about. So I am so excited. How cute are these jeans? Can you believe it? I am completely obsessed. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but I am so not a jeans person, but these are perfect so far. Let's keep going. Let's put the waistband in, and yeah, I'm just so happy. Before I get started on making the waistband, let's just take a quick break to talk about the sponsor of this video. This video has been very kindly sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to create a beautiful online presence and launch your passion project. Whether you'd like to start making and selling your own products, create a beautiful portfolio to showcase your work, write a blog, or simply create any website of any kind, you can design, build, and run your dream website all by yourself with Squarespace. You simply select from their range of beautifully designed templates, and then once you've chosen your template, you can then change up the website as much or as little as you like. You can change everything and add whatever you need to run your business successfully with just a few clicks, no knowledge or background needed in coding whatsoever. And now, thanks to Squarespace's new AI integrated design system called Design Intelligence, you can simply answer a few questions and design prompts, and Squarespace will build you a customized website from the ground up. I personally use Squarespace to run the Rosery Apparel website and online store. I sell both physical and digital products on my site, and no matter what it is you sell, whether you offer services, sell products, or do both, Squarespace makes selling a range of different products so seamless and easy. With easy online payments and built-in tools for inventory, shipping, and search engine optimization, when customers click onto your Squarespace site, they're bound to have an easy and seamless shopping experience. So if you'd like to create a website of your own, then I totally recommend you go and check out Squarespace using the link in the description below. And then when you're ready to launch your beautiful new website, head to squarespace.com/rosaryapparel for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video and for being such an incredible supporter of my channel. So to make the waistband of these jeans, I had to start by making a thin rectangle of fabric that had all of the raw edges enclosed onto the inside, and then I had to cut it up to make the individual belt loops. I then attached the belt loops, spacing them evenly along the raw edge of the top of the jeans. Once the belt loops were attached, I could then pin the waistband rectangle in place. The actual waistband piece was a bit smaller than the top of the jeans, so once the waistband is attached, it will kind of cinch in the waist of the jeans ever so slightly more. So that makes attaching the top edge of the jeans to the waistband just a little bit tricky because they don't fit together perfectly and you kind of have to ease them in place, and the waistband itself kind of needs to stretch out a little bit to make the two pieces fit together, which no matter how hard I tried, for some reason I was not able to do this without puckering the fabric of the jeans, which I didn't want to have any puckering of any kind because it's very noticeable, and the whole point of this project is to try and make these jeans as perfect as possible. How many times do I have to say it? I'm on a mission to make the perfect jeans. Okay, so I just had to unpick the waistband because, I don't know, I was not able to ease the rest of the pants into the waistband. The waistband is ever so slightly smaller than the actual waist of the jeans, so that way it's just cinches in ever so slightly more, which is exactly what I need because at the moment the waist is just slightly gaping a little bit, but because the denim doesn't have that much give, it is struggling to ease into the size of the waistband. So I've unpicked it all. I'm going to try again. This time, to make it a little bit easier, I'm actually going to do a basting stitch along the waist, so if I need to I can just gather it up ever so slightly, not enough to actually create gathers, but just to be able to ease it into the waistband. So let's give that a try. Once I'd stitched the basting stitches, I carefully gathered them up just slightly so as to not actually create any gathering or puckering of the fabric. I then once again pinned, or in this case clipped, the waistband in place, and the gathering stitches did actually help to make the two pieces fit together a lot better, or so I thought. This waistband is going to be the death of me. I'm not even kidding. After 5 failed attempts and a broken finger later, I am almost ready to give up. If they weren't looking as cute as they were, I probably would give up if I'm honest. This is impossible. Like, this waistband, the size 8 waistband, does not fit on the size 8 waist of the actual jeans. Like I'm sure it does, but because I'm using some pretty heavy interfacing so that the waistband doesn't stretch, it just has zero give. So there's no easing anything onto that waistband. So I've cut out a fresh one in size 10 because yeah, it's impossible. I've tried 5 times. I'm not trying anymore. Like, it is impossible. I finally did get it in, but I had to gather up the actual jeans significantly, and so there was just a whole heap of bulky puffiness because of the gathers, which is so not the look I'm going for. So yeah, I'm gonna put some interfacing onto this size 10 piece and see how we go with this. So far I've been working on this waistband for over an hour and I've gotten nowhere. This is very frustrating. So I didn't actually end up breaking my finger, by the way. I just sliced it up pretty badly with a pin, which honestly nearly sent me over the edge. I was getting pretty frustrated by this whole project at this point, but I am very happy to say that sewing the size 10 waistband worked so much better than the size 8. I'm not sure exactly what I did wrong and why the size 8 wasn't working for me, but it was, yeah, it was impossible to attach. The waistband is finally in and it is perfect now. I don't know if it was the pattern or if it's just the fabric or if it's just me, but the size 8 waistband was impossible to put into these jeans. The size 10 was a little bit bigger, so I did snip off a little bit. But yeah, if you've ever made the size 8 of this pattern, I would be really interested to know if you had the same issue. Like I said, the size 10 waist was a little bit bigger than the rest of the pants. I did shorten it quite a bit, so I still had to ease in the fabric slightly. So now the waist is like perfectly cinched in. Oh, I'm so happy with how these are looking. Here's the back. Don't know if you can see all the details there, but when I was sewing in the size 8 waistband, this was all like puckered and gathered. It was impossible to do it so it was sitting flat. But yeah, now we're up to the last little finishing details, which is so exciting. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're here at last. Now we just need to make a buttonhole and attach a button and hem the jeans, which I don't think I want to hem them too much. I think they're pretty much the perfect length as they are. And then I can try the finished jeans on and see how they look. I already know they're going to look good. Look how perfect they are. I don't think I could have ever hoped that they would turn out this great. Let me put some shots in now of me wearing them so you can get a good proper look at these perfect pair of jeans. So I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed coming along with me as I sew up my perfect pair of jeans. Like I said before, I just could not be happier with how these turned out. They are genuinely my perfect pair of jeans. They cinch in nice and snug at the waist, but go out perfectly at the hips, so they're not like uncomfortable at all. There's lots of room, and even though it is like quite tight along my waist at the moment, I know with wear they will begin to stretch, and once they've stretched they're going to be even more perfect. I love that I decided to go with the little pop of gingham in the pockets. I just think that is such a fun little surprise detail that no one knows is there, but I know. And I guess that's part of the reason why I love making my own clothes so much, is being able to add fun little details like that and putting that little bit of extra effort in to make a garment even more special than it already is. Yeah, I am super happy with this sewing pattern, apart from the waistband fit issues, which again could quite possibly just be a me problem, not an actual problem with the sewing pattern. But apart from the waistband, these were actually so easy to sew up, way easier than I remember them being. Probably does help that they're the second time I've attempted making them. There's not much else I need to say about these. I think you can tell by my reaction to wearing these jeans that I am just so happy with them. For someone who actually despises wearing jeans, it just feels so good to have a pair that are exactly what I hoped they would be and that fit me perfectly. I'm just over the moon, and yeah, I had a really clear idea of what I wanted these jeans to be, and I feel like I've nailed it. The only thing I would probably say is not perfect about these jeans is the fact that the button is slightly off center. But seriously, if that is the only thing that I have a problem with these jeans, I'll take it. Like, I don't think it matters that much. I just think it should be over towards the center a little bit more, but I'm not going to lose sleep over that tiny little mistake. So I hope you enjoyed coming along for this journey, and what a journey it has been. I have to get my sewing machine fixed, which is not a great outcome from this sewing project, but at least I'll be getting it serviced, which it was overdue for anyway. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, it would really mean a lot to me if you could give it a like, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for more sewing type videos just like this one. Thanks so much for watching this video until the very end, and I'll see you in the next one.